This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. It's first thing in the morning and I'm joined by the gentleman, Chris BILLAM Smith, still the Commonwealth Cruiserweight champion after his win over Nathan Thorley this past weekend at Fight Camp. How you doing, Chris?
Very well, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Always nice to see you first thing in the morning. Thanks for that.
Yeah. I've got my coffee. I'm sat out in my auntie's garden in Cornwall. So, yeah, mate, it's all good.
I remember I used to be able to get you straight on the camera as it was, not on Zoom, before you were picking up titles. Now I have to wait a couple of days. What's going on?
We tried yesterday, mate, but the signal was really bad on the way down, wasn't it? So, yeah. But, yeah, mate, I'm straight off on holidays, so we've got to make the most of it.
Well, we'll let you off. You've had a very, well, like everybody's had a very indecisive, confusing year so far. Must have felt really good to get back in there against Nathan Thorley this past weekend.
Yeah, obviously it was a different situation, being around everything all week. You know, it's just in one place and you're not allowed to leave the hotel all week. But yeah, it was great and really grateful for the opportunity to obviously get that opportunity to even fight, and obviously on a great show and stuff. So yeah, it was really good.
Now you're not somebody who spends all week, sitting there anxiously dreading the fight or over-analysing the fight at all. You are one of the cooler customers that I come into contact with around fight week. Was fight week and the whole setup, did that make it even more easy to be relaxed, or how was it for you?
Yeah, I think my experience now on the big stage and just the improvements I've made and the confidence in myself helped me relax in that situation. You know, if it was, I think, well, you got to go away. I've got to do this phone call, mate. So my little cousin's trying to throw a water bomb at me. He's 6 years old. But yeah, I think that was the difference between like me and Thorley. It was for his first big occasion, and then he's been completely immersed in it all week. You can't get away from it in that hotel. So for people stepping up without that experience, or even being around it in the gym, there's not obviously. Nathan's in a really good gym with Gary Lockett and stuff, but I don't think he's been around those big fight weeks. Like obviously I had that experience with everyone else in the gym, with George Groves, Josh Taylor, and all those guys. So having that experience in the gym helped me before I got to that level. And then obviously I've been at that, around that stage now. So yeah, I was cool, calm, collected all week, and just switched it on when I needed to.
You mentioned the fact that you've got the experience now of being on the big stage, obviously Richard Riakporhe, Craig Glover. Going into this fight, how important was it that you made a fast start? Obviously, you came out into the middle of the ring, took the middle of the ring straight away. I think Enzo Macronelli, who'd been sparring with Nathan Thorley and been part of his camp, said that he froze and you never let him get the opportunity to get into the fight. Was that part of the plan going in there?
To be honest, it was in my head. And to be fair, I think with me and Shane, like we were not worrying, but we were wondering how to start, because we went out in the daytime at about midday on the day of the fight. We've gone out into the garden in the hotel, and it was roasting. It was like 30 degrees, and it was so humid. We just went outside just to go for a quick walk. We literally walked around the little garden bit, which is probably 30 metres. We walked around there, but it was so hot. Nathan Thorley was sat outside. He was in the shade, but it was just so hot just to be outside. And I was like, look, I need to get inside. Like, this heat it will drain you, even if you're sat in the shade all day. So and then I got to the venue, and it was very sorry, cans of Coke flying everywhere. They're not mine. But yeah, got to the venue, and it was still quite warm outside. So I was like, okay, we're going to have to, me and Shane spoke about it and said sort of pace myself. Obviously, I have a quick start naturally. But I thought I'd be more calm because there wasn't a crowd. So I thought that would level me out. But then because of the heat, it was like almost having to judge it, because it doesn't matter who you are and how fit you are. That's going to sap you if you go off, out the blocks really quick. But then when I got called for my ring walk, we walked out the change rooms and walked outside, and I sort of made the decision then. I was like, this is all right. I can deal with this heat. This heat's all right. I don't expect you to change in the ring. If anything, it'll be slightly cooler in the ring because of it's slightly higher up, a bit more of a breeze. So that helped settle me, because it was like I can I know I can just fight my fight now. I don't have to worry about the pace and things. It can just all flow. And then, yeah, obviously got in the ring, and that's what happened. Just wanted to establish myself early on because he hadn't been at that level or on that stage before. So you can't give him confidence. The days leading up, I was watching his best performance, which was against Jermaine Asser, and he was very, very jittery, very quick hands, very awkward, very switched on. And I was expecting that. So to be honest, for the first few rounds, I was expecting even him to maybe nick a few rounds from being so awkward. And I had to really mentally switch on and not let myself preparing myself to not get frustrated, basically, because I was expecting him to try and frustrate me early on. But yeah, once I started landing, settled the fight down and just controlled the pace.
You mentioned the fact that he's not been on that level before. He's also not a fully fledged cruiserweight, as you know. I mean, how he made light heavyweight, I'm not really quite sure. But while not being the biggest, broadest cruiserweight, he's certainly, 6'4", 6'5". It seemed to me like as soon as you started landing and touching him with the jab, he looked to have felt the power. Could you feel that when you were in there?
Yeah, I mean, I think of the first shot I landed was a jab, and even a jab to the body I landed. But then I can't remember if it was I can't remember what shot it was, but I hit him with like a shot early on, and I could visibly see, the realization sort of thing. Because if you've been in there with journeyman, a cruiserweight, they're obviously a lot slower than me. I mean, a lot of cruiserweights are slower than me anyway, but journeyman and naturally he's a bit slower. So he boxed that cruiserweight, but against people who, aren't quick. And I think with the small gloves on against a big cruiserweight and someone, the powers there as well. The realization sort of hit him. It's something you've got to somehow get used to, but you can't really get used to it without fighting. I've boxed. I remember I think it was my sixth fight. I boxed an 8-rounder against a guy from Czech Republic who's 6 wins, 2 losses, fully, big cruiserweight, and he caught me with the small gloves on quite a lot, and it was came out a bit marked up from that fight, and and felt a few shots, and that experience helped me massively because it was 8 rounds in a tiny ring down in Bournemouth. It was a 16-foot ring, and that sort of experience and just constantly getting little clips, even if you've got your gloves up and stuff, you get used to that power and used to that feeling. But I think for Nathan, it was very much a completely new experience for him because he's barely got hit. Because why would he get hit when he's that tall and he's fighting journeymen that are shorter than him? He hasn't needed to get hit, and I think that was, as soon as I caught him, I realised that I could hurt him, and he felt uncomfortable.
What was your recollection of the first knockdown? Seemingly it was quite innocuous. I think during the commentary, no one was quite sure whether it was the body shot that hurt him or if it was a couple of short left hooks on the inside. What was your recollection of it?
Yeah, well, I didn't realise at the time about the body shot, but the body shot was a great shot. He tried to block it, and it went right through onto his ribs, and I think that's why he held. But the shots that put him down were the little short left hook. They weren't massive shots, but I could generate enough power in a short distance to hit him, and sort of caught him high on the jaw, and then I just doubled up on it. And I think maybe the body shot hurt him, and then he was half focused about that, and then I felt him relax a little bit on the inside, and then just let them go. So maybe it was the shock factor as well. But it was definitely, I definitely think it was the headshots that caused the knockdown, because he was still a little bit shaky on his legs even when he got up.
What advice did Shane give you? Obviously, that come quite basically at the end of the first round. What advice did Shane give you in the corner? Was it to go out there and close the show? Was it to keep your shape and relax? What did he tell you?
I think we both knew, between us, that the end was coming. But Shane's not go and finish him. He's never going to be like that because of the way he understands the sport so well, and he also knows if he said that and I've gone out and listened to him, then I wouldn't finish him because I'd just be looking for it too much. And he was like, keep landing those shots and just find the right hook and find certain shots and keep working the body. But it's never with Shane. It's never like he's go and finish him in desperation like that. It's always a job to do, and because he knows that by telling me just to go and finish him, that's just the end goal rather than the steps to get that end goal. So he'll always just tell you the steps of each side. So it was like, keep finding those shots, keep basically doing what I was doing, which, you know, I took control quite early on in the fight. And and then after the second knockdown, after the second knockdown, he was telling me certain shot to throw, and I managed just to get it off. But then obviously Nathan came back. I think he was starting to get a bit used to the power then. After watching it back, Nathan was getting used to the power, and then obviously had a good go. I was catching him even when he was catching me, and he was still coming forward. So he was having that success just before the finish.
Yeah, the second round started kind of much as the first ended, and you continued to have success, and then he woke you up a little bit with the 1-2 that caught you straight down the middle, and then you walked him into a hesitant to say it to make your head swell even more. It was almost George Groves-esque, the right hand that you landed. For people who don't know, Chris Billam-Smith is the official president of the George Groves fan club. Hell of a shot to finish it.
Yeah, I felt him, getting success, and Gary was obviously telling him. When I watched the fight back, you could hear Gary tell him to throw the 1-2 down the middle at chest height, and he landed one, and then he kept throwing it, and then he was getting success, and he was like, right, this is my chance now, because I don't know if he thought he'd hurt me, maybe because I sort of lost my shape, and he caught me with a good shot, and then I sort of wanted to regain my feet because I'd lost my shape. So that's when I went inside. I wasn't hurt. I just wanted to regain my shape and stuff. So yeah, then he was coming in, and then I was going to throw it when he threw that first jab just before the finish, but my feet weren't right. So I just knew he was getting success. So now was the time to walk him onto a shot. So yeah, took the step back and dropped the head in, and yeah, it was quite George-esque, and I think it was quite natural shot to throw. I mean, obviously Shane teaches us to throw shots very correctly, but I think that one was a bit of both of them, to be honest. Shane always tells us how to throw the shot, but I think subconsciously all those years of watching George paid off.
I'm sure George will be really pleased to hear that. So moving forward, obviously straight after the fight, the big talk was about Tommy McCarthy for the vacant European Cruiserweight title. There's obviously the Richard Riakporhe rematch that people continue to talk about. Dion Juma's around in the mix at British title level, mandatory for Richard. Is it the Tommy McCarthy fight next for you? Would you be willing to travel to Belfast for that?
I think I've proven that I'll travel anywhere and fight anyone in whatever situation, but yeah, if that's the case, if I've got to go to Belfast and I've got to fight Tommy for the European, then I'll do that. I did the same, obviously, with Richard in London. It wasn't quite the same. I think I took a great following up with me, and I got a lot of people in London myself, but obviously went to Liverpool and to Craig Glover's backyard. I think in Ireland it would be a lot more of a hostile atmosphere, but I'd love that fight, and I'd be willing to travel, but obviously it's politics in boxing, and we'll see how it all goes. But I'd love that fight, or any fight that I'm just really pleased with how my career is going. I'll fight anyone, anyone in domestically, and I've still got plenty of learning to do. I switched off slightly the other night, so I need to address that in my game, and there's a few other things I'd like to work on, but I'm progressing well, and just all those fights you've mentioned are ones that I'd love.
You even got a nice little hat tip from Uncle Eddie in his post-fight interview. I think he referred to you as a movie star or something like that. He said you look like a movie star, you punch hard and stuff. Must be nice to hear from Eddie. Yeah,
I didn't know he'd said that. When was that? Was that in on a Sky interview or someone else?
I think he said it in the IFL interview with Umar, and he also had some nice words to say with Andy Purawal, who he caught up with Sunday morning, I think Saturday morning, I can't remember, Saturday, I think. So go and check out Boxing Social, Chris.
Yeah, I will. Always. I think I watched a bit of that interview actually yesterday, but that's nice to hear. Me and Eddie spoke a bit through the week and stuff, so, and he wants me to fight the big fight, so, and obviously he's putting on the best shows and stuff like that, so I think the fight camp is a brilliant idea. I'm not sure, but it seems like they're going to extend it, I think I heard Eddie say. So hopefully they'll put on some more shows. But yeah, obviously I'd love to get back in front of the fans as well. And obviously I'm not going to be boxing anytime soon, I doubt. So towards the end of the year, hopefully the fans can be back. And yeah, but yeah, Ed, it's nice to hear some nice words. I did, like yourself, Rob, I did attempt an acting career. I think you were a lot more successful than me. But I used to go to drama school, which my fiance likes to still take the mick of me about. But I was about 14, I think. But yeah, got a C in drama, but I got an A star in my practical. But yeah, I don't think movie star life is quite for me yet.
You never know, mate. I mean, we've seen like Roy Jones Jr. was in The Matrix, and you never know, mate. Get a European title, and you could end up in, I don't know,
Creed 10.
Creed 10.
10, I'll take. They like the cruiserweights, and they British cruiserweights. So obviously Tony Belly was in one, so maybe I'll be the next one.
Okay, well, final word before I let you go on your stablemate, Anthony Fowler. Technically the second fight he's had under Shane McGuigan, but the less said about the first one, I think the better. What did you make of his performance against Adam Harper? Real dominant display from Anthony Fowler.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Harper has been out of the ring for 2 years, but I remember him from the amateurs, and he was always a tough kid who brought it every fight. Got a lot of respect for Adam. He's a real nice lad as well. But I think Fowler showed, especially early on, he just got out the block so quick and so much in control, and he showed all the improvements that we've been seeing in the gym. And I was really, really happy for him and Shane, to be honest, because the first fight they'd done a lot of work, and he's improved a bit. And then obviously this camp he's improved even more. So I was really glad he got to show and display that on such a great platform. So I thought he was superb. You know, I think he said it in an interview as well, how polar opposites we are like in the changing room. I'm sort of, just calm, collected throughout the week and the day, and then once my hands are wrapped, I'm in the zone, and there's not really much joking or anything from me. But he's just Fowler all the time. He's the same kid the whole time. Walking to the ring, he'll be making jokes and stuff. So we're very different in that aspect. But I think we both showed the other night. It was a great night and great week for all of us. That it was. We both put on good performances. Me, Pritchard, Shane and Fowler really enjoyed the whole week, and we had a real good laugh together. But I think Fowler really showed what he's about, and I'll expect him to improve every camp, as he has done already. But it was a very dominant display. I think his right hand might have actually been better than mine, to be fair, but Harper got up and somehow carried on and showed how tough he was. But it was a excellent shot, excellent display. And I'm really happy for him, because he grafts hard. He puts in the work. He travels down from Liverpool. It's a long way for him, and he lives the life. So he's a great lad to have around the gym. I was really happy for him.
Okay, well, Mr. BILLAM Smith, thank you very much for speaking to Boxing Social. And
can I enjoy my holiday now?
You can go and enjoy your holiday now. I did feel really bad for chasing you up, and then I thought, well, actually, I used to interview you when no one cared about you, so I can do it now. So
mate, always. It's not an issue, mate. I'm only joking, but it's good to speak to you.
Always a pleasure, mate. I'm sure I'll catch up with you soon anyway. But yeah, as always, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Enjoy some much-deserved time off, and once again, congratulations on an excellent performance this past weekend.
Thank you, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.